I got asked what I learned from Spanian, and let's be honest, apart from throwing a brick at someone walking down the park out of pure vengeance, which is a lesson that I think we can all take heed to, right up there with Jesus and Gandhi's. Yeah, okay, peacefulness is all well and good, but it's not as funny. Now, the one thing that I did learn about him, being in his presence, and this is what I was trying to coax out of the interview that I had with the guy. I was trying to figure out why there's so many prisoners that are so deeply into God slash little skull cap God, Muhammad. Why are they so into it? I don't know the answer still, but I do have a couple of hallucinations as to what I think might be the case. And that is because, as is said in virtually every self-help book, if you don't believe in God, you are doing yourself a disservice. Can you imagine saying that in 2010? Can you imagine the dislike ratio? And now there isn't a dislike ratio, which is why I've chosen to say it right now. I've always thought it. In fact, I've alluded to it in the past. I don't necessarily think that you have to think that God exists. You can just believe in a higher power or something like that. But this is not about whether it exists or not. This is about tricking yourself into thinking that there is this higher authority that wants you to hashtag be better. That's what you're trying to do here. And the reason you are is because if you look back at any great leader, let's look at the greatest leader of all time, Joseph Stalin. Isn't it a nice thought thinking about him on Santa Claus's lap? What do you want for Christmas, little Stalin? I want a candy cane, Santa Claus. But what happened when it looked like the Nazis were going to win? What did he do? Even despite being a devout communist, he turned away all of that and brought back a bunch of religious imagery and prayed to God. Why did he do that? Because no matter how much you elude yourself into thinking that you're a leader or that you get it, there ain't no atheists in foxholes. I think that that's just what happens, that in your crucial moments of life, you turn to a higher power. I don't know why everybody does it. They just do. And it gives you a form of clarity and this idea that at least someone is on your side. That's what's critical. In fact, I just came back from Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, which was 6 days of him pretty much saying, if you don't believe in God, that's fine, but if you do, you're a fucking idiot, Don't. That's what I was trying to say there. He was saying that because as soon as that happens, it shifts something in your mind. It shifts something in your mind that, okay, it's not just me in this, and there's something a little bit higher than me that I'm taking orders from. This is one of the other reasons why Christians will always report that they are much happier than atheists on average. The reason for that is because they have this idea that somebody wants them to live their life in a certain way. So you've essentially got this invisible mum over the top of your head. Because the problem is that human beings think that they want freedom, right? But when they do have freedom, what do? They sit on their ass and they get depressed and they play a lot of video games where they imagine that they're a robot in one of those 3D worlds that makes this sound every time you move your hands. You just don't do much. You just don't do much if you think that life is pointless. It just gives you another layer of that. What it does is create in your mind what is known as, and this is just a key to success. You ready for this? I want you to write this down. An inverted paranoid. Paranoid people, what do they think? The universe is out to get them. What does an inverted paranoid person think? That the universe is there to serve them and they're there to serve the universe by extension. Let's hope you get to that point. But the actual one that it's talking about is that the universe is a friendly place. And that simple alignment in life completely changes what you focus on and how you perceive every interaction that happens to you. Because even if someone let's just say someone's mean to you when you went out and got your coffee and they didn't put the nice little sprinkle smiley face on the front of it, right? They didn't do that. It was the biggest tragedy that you face today. In fact, the biggest tragedy of your life. What happens then? If somebody is a paranoid, they think that that is because that person's an asshole. They deliberately did that to me. They wanted me to feel bad, and now I do feel bad. I hope they're happy about themselves. That's what they think. What does an inverted paranoid think in that situation? Oh, well, I'm sure they forgot. Get on with their life. And then they probably put some meaning behind it as well of, hey, just because I don't have the smiley face, it tastes just as good. This is teaching me to be happier with less. It's a complete different realignment in life. And Spanian is a perfect example of that. He says it about, bros, when I was walking around, I was a full-on junkie and I thought I was fucking mad in prison because I had all the boob hookups, I had all the Iggy says. And then one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, brah, look at you. You're a junkie. You're not even mad fit, cuz. You're just like some little twig, bro. You think you're fucking mad, but you're just some fucking Unky J in the Ush Bay. And then that day, I swear to God, you can ask all my emails, cuz. I gave away all my boobs, all my ciggies. I was living the clean life, cuz. I got mad fit. All the girls, look at Spanian, he's got the big muscles, you know. Everybody was out there. They all wanted to have sex with me. Every woman I've ever met in my life, they all wanted to fuck me, bros. And it's because, I swear to God, cuz, God was there. He was there with me. And then what happened when he wanted to get out of jail? Oh, cuz, God was there for the next 2 weeks. Does it matter if God was there or not? Doesn't matter if they're, does it matter? Because before that, what was he? His goals in life was to be a kingpin drug dealer. But there is just something inherent. Maybe it's about the cultural bias of our society that as soon as God is on your side, you start wanting to err towards doing more good things. Clearly, in response to Spanian. Yeah? There's no counterexample of that in the Catholic Church whatsoever. Yeah? Generally, though, it gives you the power to shift. It gives you the power to shift because it's kind of like in Age of Mythology where you get that moment of extra god powers that you press on and then your soldiers get that light shone on them. And then they get to fight better and they don't get as much damage. Something like that happens when you shift to a divine intervention. Now, does that necessarily mean that you have to believe in God? Does that necessarily mean that you have to believe that it even exists? No. It just means that you have to at least think that it's possible, so it opens up that passage. It's just that. That is all it is. I swear to God, believing in some sort of higher power is that mana that comes down on you when you are in Age of Mythology. Because you start to think, and this is the crucial point, that your life is part of a greater destiny, part of a greater prophecy. And do you think that somebody who thinks, I am supposed to be somewhere in life, and it doesn't even matter if I know where I'm going, it's just I believe that I am directed towards something greater. Do you think that they are going to act day to day in a way that is more in alignment with someone like that, with someone who is destined, as opposed to somebody who thinks, oh, well, when I die, I'm just going to be eaten by maggots, aren't I? I basically am just a big maggot. Don't get me wrong, there is a time to think like that. There definitely is. But as you can plainly see from Spanian and how his life turned out, what got him off drugs? Serious drugs. Butane is a form of heroin, right? What got him off that? A belief in a higher power. What got him out of jail? This is a man who, by his own words, has been institutionalized. Every time he's walking down the street, he thinks, fuck, why am I still walking? Why haven't I banged into a wall yet? This is crazy, cuz. This is like the biggest ism prey I've ever been in my life. Sydney just keeps going. Oh, there's got to be some kind of bars around it or something. Oh my God, there isn't. It just says you're leaving Sydney. What the fuck, cuz? That is because that man, for whatever reason, started to believe that God was on his side. As a result of that, God was on his side. Do you see? All it does is give you a certain power, a certain justification, I suppose, to change the behaviors that you have in your life. That's what I learned from Spanian. That's why I kept asking him about all these supernatural experiences, because I was very interested in the fact that all these reformed prisoners, so many of them talk about the power of Allah, the power of God. I don't know, not many of them seem to be into the power of L'chaim, but maybe in Israel they are. But it seems to be Christianity and Islam a lot of the time. I'm very interested in what that is, but I think that it is the fact that they switch from being paranoids to inverted paranoids. That's the quickest way that I know. I'm sure that there's other ways. I just think the same thing as Tony Robbins because he's completely programmed my life. And I do think that. It's okay for you to not believe in God, but if you don't, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah? And it's not even that I'm one of those people that actually is a devout Christian. I'm not at all. I do see a lot of merit in the Bible now. I used to not. But ever since I started talking to a few people that are converts, and you realize, no, this actually gave them a lot of meaning and direction in their life. That's great. But I am a fan of this idea that there is a higher order directing your life, whether it's true or not. The fact that you think it is, like with everything else in your life, so it becomes. Anyway, it's time for me to be your intermediary between God and yourself. That's right, I can be your interpreter. Jordan Shanks, check it out. You will not regret it. The amount of people that I have that get out of Patreon from, say, Friendly Geordies to Jordan Shanks gets very few people opting out of it because they see the value in it. The value is constant reminders for you to keep striving, for you to keep being on your grind. And as a result, just like that inverted paranoid talk that we had about before, if you pay into something like that, you start to believe, oh, I'm one of these people that actually strives for results in life. As a result of investing in that, you start doing it. Do you see how I've just primed you this whole time to get you to sign up to this? It's because I believe in the product. I truly do. I think you should sign up. It's actually just peanuts. I don't even really need the money. The reason that I'm into this idea is because I like the idea that once you have bought into something, once you buy something, you kind of respect the value of it. It's the difference between buying a CD as opposed to just getting it for free. I'm offering it to you for free, but you do not have the same value. You will know this about when you bought your first Eminem album, for instance, the Curtain Show, whatever the fuck. My movie's on the Curtains, Eminem show. And you just, wow, this is amazing. You would have listened to it so many more times than you listened to all of his other albums, and it wasn't because of the diminished quality. Okay? Recovery was a brilliant album. I don't want to hear otherwise. I never actually heard a song from it. The point is, you should check out Jordan Shanks. I really do think that you should. Thank you for your time.